Hi, hello there, and my name's Drake, and welcome to another day on Dartmoor. And today I wanted to talk to you about one of the things that you can be doing this time of year. It's November, the leaves have mostly fallen from the trees, and now is the time to do one of the things which is almost one of my most favourite things to do, and that's mulching. Now, what's mulching? Well, I can show you. So if we just go down here a little bit, and what we've got down here on the ground, this is mulch. So I'll come in a little bit closer so you can see that. So in this instance, what we've got here is bark chipping, and this is bark chipping from actually last year. So this is last year's stuff that we collected, and I've thrown this on footpaths. But mulching is something you can do everywhere, and what you would really want to do is collect leaves from, ideally from oak trees and beech trees. They're two of the best kinds of trees to get good mulch from. But you can use any organic material. And the only thing to remember is if you're getting, for example, collecting pine needles, they can be a bit acidic. So be careful of how many pine needles you use in your compost. Just be aware of that. Otherwise, use anything. And what I've used also down here, if we come back down again, over here, that straw that I put down over the surface of the ground. I had potatoes growing in that last year, or this year even, and I've taken all the potatoes out, I've mulched it, and I can see lots of creeping buttercup coming through. And you know, I don't really mind that the creeping buttercup's growing there, because it's keeping the soil alive. Because you know, there's this temptation to strip everything bare on the ground, and if you do that, then a lot of the nutrients are washed away, a lot of the structure of the soil is lost. So it's really a good idea that if you are somebody who likes to dig in their garden, then try and let things grow and be settled over the year. The other thing that you can do if you do clear out an area is you can plant things like field bean, and that will help keep the soil alive. It will give nutrients to the soil, very good at fixing nitrogen in the soil, and you can dig those plants in the spring, and then you sow your plants and whatever you want to grow after that. But the other thing is with mulching, and one of the wonderful joyous things about mulching is that it's a benefit on lots of different levels. It's a benefit because the leaves that you collect and you put on your plants or around your plants, they provide a habitat. So a habitat, especially for invertebrates. They're really good at maintaining the soil temperature. So you have less extremes, which in winter, you know, when it goes from frost to being mild, it helps even that out, which protects your plants. And also, it's, as it rots down, it's supplying nutrients to the soil. So that's another benefit. So there's lots and lots of win-wins with mulching. The other thing with mulching is if when you're putting it down, because essentially what you're doing is you're top dressing the soil. And when you're putting it down, there's a temptation to throw it everywhere. And that may not be a good idea. If it's too deep, then that's going to slow down plants which are going to have to push through all that extra layer of mulch before it can get to the light. So I wouldn't do anything more than a couple of centimetres of mulching on top of my plants. And generally what I do is I mulch around the plants. So that way that they're not disturbed, their roots are still protected, but the actual growing part of the plant can push through in the spring and it's immediately in the light. Because as one of the benefits of mulching is it cuts the light out. So it does help keep things that you don't want to be growing from coming up over winter. Because even though we get frosts and even though we get snow, we still have plants growing. They still grow, grass still grows, creeping buttercup certainly keeps growing, and a lot of plants which you may not want growing will keep going. So it's a really good reason, another good reason to mulch your garden. And I think that's all I have to say really. Oh, the other thing you can do with leaves is you can make leaf mold. And this is really, really great because it's a wonderful conditioner for compost, a wonderful conditioner for your soil. And all you really have to do is you gather up your leaves And you can do a couple of things. You can put them into something like a big plastic bin liner, or you can put them into a special leaf box next to your compost. And what you want to do is leave them for a couple of years. Your leaves that you're collecting, you want them to be a little bit moist, not really dry leaves. And in a couple of years, they'll have broken down, lots of bacteria will have got going, lots of fungi will have got going in there. It'll have broken it all down, and it'll be a lovely, lovely crumbly material that's perfect for your ground. And in a way, although this is bark and bark and wood chippings, this has started turning it into a leaf mold. And again, I'm just gonna show you that real close. So what's wonderful about that is it's a wonderful place for microbes. It's a wonderful place for fungi to grow. And I tell you what, it smells really good. I use it on the footpaths, as I said. So one good thing about mulching as well, it's not just in the garden. You can do it for your footpaths as well in your garden or growing area. That's it. Yay! So that's all I wanted to tell you today. There are lots of other things you can be doing, of course, in your garden and growing areas at this time of year. But I just quickly wanted to go through mulching. Thank you for having a listen, and I hope you have a really great mulching day. Okay.